thinking about this idea of feeding back to other patients, imagine that another patient in an early stage is watching this now, hearing your account. Is there anything you'd want to say to encourage them or to give them some advice there?
You will come through this. You will come through this, difficult though it is. And strange to say, and difficult though it is to imagine, you can come out of this a much stronger person. So don't doubt that. Difficult though it is, you will survive. You will come through this.
That's a very positive message, I'm sure.
Yes.
A lot would be encouraged by that.
Yes. Many people, I'm sure, thought it was the end of me when they saw me at my worst. But what you see now, thanks to everyone, the enormous number of people who have helped me through this in the hospitals and elsewhere, amongst my friends and my colleagues, and so on. I do think, where I said at the beginning, that an awful lot of money could have been saved by very early intervention.
Yes.
And so on. And I hope things will improve. I believe they will improve in the future. One of the things I haven't mentioned, and I have a little V in my bonnet, is being asked to sign a consent form when you're all ready to go into theatre. I hadn't even got reading glasses that I was using then. I was in no mood to read through all the small print. All right? So I feel strongly that consent forms should be something like a week beforehand. So you've got time to think, you've got questions that you might want answers, etc. So in my case, it was just before I was going into theatre. Could you sign there? At that moment, I just wanted the damn thing out. I would have signed anything. Yeah,
it's almost a formality at that stage because they do it in high stress situation.
Yes.
Well, it's almost like just checking with you, is this you? You're signing, this is me here. Rather than actually saying, I've considered all the options and I'm fully aware of what's going on and I'm fully consenting. So I do agree with you, it should be handled differently in the medical profession. And there are various suggestions on how to do that, but your one of asking earlier is actually a very good one. Very good one.
I would say the other thing that's important to remember, forget what I said about the generation thing. The doctor is God. It says you don't imply any criticism by asking him a question, etc. As I say, the most important, the person who really knows about yourself is yourself. You know your own body. When this was done, in August of last year, that again was a tiny SSC which was dug out. Unfortunately, mistakes happen in a very, very stressed NHS now. The biopsy report was filed and forgotten. That deteriorated until it was finally realised that that had become serious. Now, as a way of taking control of one's own future, it was decided that this would be removed by surgery. They wanted to give me a general anaesthetic. I said, you know, going to have a general anaesthetic. I want to know what's going on here. After everything else, I said, give me a local. So they talked about it and said, well, fine. And the doctor said to me, getting to know you, I think I know the answer. Do you want me to take out what I can see, or do you want me to take out a lot more? I said, take the whole bloody lot out. Said, get rid of it, etc. So I was pleased to be awake, to be in conversation, and again, a remarkable piece of surgery. You now look at my chest and you now look at my leg. Really? And that's a beautiful bit of embroidery. And I think that young surgeon must have been taught his stitching by his grandmother. He's done a remarkable job. But again, it's about taking control. Yes, of course, you must listen to advice, but in the end, it is your own decision. And if someone decides that it's not for them, then whatever the consequences are after that, then it's for them to decide. Luckily, I'm still here, but as I say, it's not our decision for how long.